opportunity to contribute to the conversation. And we have a gamut of amazing speakers, including the Minister of Health, Honorable Kim Wilson will be there. BHB will be there. We have a lot of individuals with private practice will be there, and discussions for mothers. I know women. This is something that I was interested in terms of mental health for the mom. Talking about like superwoman syndrome and imposter syndrome. We have things that are focused for the father, the son, the brother, and male's mental health. We have focuses for the children, for parents to understand the effects of social media and how that affects our children's mental health. And that's also one that's near and dear to my heart, particularly as my kids run through, COVID and just sitting at home and on the internet and seeing all the negativity every single day. I always wonder why my kids tend to wake up sad or just, anxiety and fear. And it's like, wow, there's something going on. So it's so many different topics, and I really urge people to check it out on our website, BMHF.em. There's a list of topics, the list of speakers, and of course the registration link. And I will say that on day 2, we're also offering free lunch for the first 140 people that sign up. We have a few more spots available. So please go online and register, because that's a full day, and it does include lunch as well. So excited. Good stuff.
Yes. And the thing is about it, again, I know, is there any cost associated with this? Because Jodi, we have to get to the money.
No, there's no.
Thank you. I was waiting for you to say that. Thank you, Jodi.
It's a completely free event. Community event.
Free.
And free. And the foundation typically only does free community events. We really are on a mission to make sure that everybody has what they need to thrive in this community. So we just hosted a free community walk last week that went really, really well, and now it's a free 2-day conference, so absolutely free.
And I'm grateful for that, because again, like I've said to you before, since you've been on the show, we've had multiple conversations surrounding mental health and what that looks like, and I'm really excited to jump in to Chardonae, who is a child and mental health counselor. And number one, thank you. Right? Thank you. And it's crazy because I know what you're talking about at this Moving Forward Together 2-day conference is.
So I'm looking at the digital age and how it impacts your mental health, looking at social media and any significant implications that comes with it.
So since I've started the Morning Spice, I have this part of the show called Kids Choice. And during that time, that's when I ask riddles and trivia for the little ones to get moving. And I've said many a times, like, parents, do you know what your children are actually looking like? Like, let me just tell you, as an experience, as a camp counselor with middle school age children, younger ones, I promise you think the parental controls and all of that are doing a lot of things, but I promise you these kids are seeing other things.
Of course.
And then this morning, I wanted to make space for the little ones to remind them, like, you're always on. Everything around you is turned on. Your cell phone's turned on. Your iPad's turned on. Your television's turned on. Everything's turned on. And just for 5 minutes a day, just do something that doesn't have anything that's on. Like, turn off for 5 minutes and really just having those conversations. But I guess, Chardonae, the question that I actually have for you is, it goes back to what Jodi was saying and sort of this trajectory that we've seen after Coco, right? Like, after Coco, it seems like all the little bits have just been like, these have been intense. I've been in home. The only sort of social connections I've had has been through a screen. And then now I'm back in the real world and I have this attachment to my phone. Can you talk to me a little bit about how that has escalated in a way where folks are starting to pay more attention to the younger kids in terms of their mental health and what that looks like?
So what I would say is, when it comes to the mental health presentations and the different trends you've seen since Coco, as you called it, that's cute. I would say that it's more amplified. I think people are looking at it more underneath the scope because these things did exist before, but mental health just wasn't spoken about as much until we saw that the rates skyrocketed during Coco, right? I would also say that the dependency on the devices has been around. My generation, I'm born mid-90s. We kind of were the first microwave babies, so to speak, right?
Is that what they call y'all?
Yeah, well, the 2000s are more microwave babies than what we are.
That is horrible.
But we were around, like, you know, when High Five and Facebook and social media really first started to come about, so the dependency's always been there. I think that when it comes to our young people, they're very impressionable and very vulnerable, right? So, like you said, we have parental, you know, guidance and controls that we can attempt to do, but then you still have people that create different age-appropriate things for children that promote antisocial behaviors, sexual behaviors, you know, bullying and different adversities, where they have taken the popular cartoon characters on YouTube and it's actually like adults playing these roles, right? Yeah. And if you're a parent just walking across, it looks like Coco Melon or like Dr. McStuffins. You're not thinking anything of it, but your children most likely have headphones on and things like that, but they're consuming so much, right? So I think it's about having the education and then teaching children how to build digital resilience. So if you do encounter anything inappropriate or that has, you know, caused any type of emotional harm or distress to you, how can we navigate through those things? As well as, you know, having healthy screen time balance. But I don't want to get too much of it.
Because then you know, come in and see what's going on October 27th. And I think, because the key part, I love that you said digital resilience, right? That's the first time I've heard it in that way. And for me, it actually like solidifies a lot of things in my mind for myself, because even me, I've had to do a lot of work of like not grabbing my phone first thing in the morning, like giving my brain like
a break. But it's hard to turn off, like you said. Like, everything is on her. Like, you know, we have like your personal phone, and like me, you have a work phone, and then you have your business phone. So I'm working around 3 phones a day, right? So it is hard to turn off. And these children, you know, most times parents just give them a tablet or a phone to play on to keep them quiet, because then you get things done around the house. But we're not really fostering these interpersonal connections. As humans, we thrive off of connection. We need that to survive, right? And when you're just stuck on your phone, you're seeing more rates of like social anxiety coming up, because you don't know how to actually have in-person conversation. Or children that will rather hide behind a screen instead of, you know, interacting with their peers and things like that, right? So you're losing that sense of connection. You're losing your you know, your social, emotional development skills are being impaired as well. It's a slew of things. You know, it actually impacts your critical thinking abilities as well. People don't know that. You know, brain development for children.
No, talk about that for a minute, because I'm hearing what you're saying, right? And because the other part for me that I'm thinking about is the trust factor. Because a lot of times our kids are on these devices, and like you said, I'm watching things that mommy isn't gonna notice, and I'm not gonna have to need to tell her, right? And if I just tell her it's just Roblox or something that I'm gonna expect that she doesn't understand. So for me, it's just like, when you're talking about that cognitive learning or that cognitive ability, right, and what that looks like, I'm also thinking about the other side of that in terms of like moral ethics, what that looks like, and how it ushers in this ability to not like bend the truth a little bit, and how that starts to morph and look around.
I think it's a lot to do with, you know, levels of communication and how strong of a sense of attachment that your kids have to you, seeing as a secure base, and realizing that they can have these uncomfortable conversations with you without fearing consequence, right? So we were all young once. We know that we don't tell our parents everything, what we're doing on our devices, and who we're going to see, and everything else of the sort, right? We all have a little sneaky.
I was a good girl, okay? I never did any of those things.
Sure.
Right, Mom? Who's listening right now? I did you proudly. I wasn't out there on the street.
It's not about being in the streets. It's just that as children, right? And when you get a certain age, especially teenagers, you think you're grown. Adolescents, you different hormones and things that you're feeling. But it's about teaching your kids to not only have the resilience, but to be able to come to you with anything, and also realizing that children will be children. So you can train a child up in a way that you want them to go, but ultimately they're going to make the choice that they want to do at the end of the day. They know right from wrong. Everyone has a moral compass based on, you know, the values and the core belief systems that you have as an individual, as well as your, you know, your family unit, right? And people are like, well, what do you mean the difference? I'm like, well, your family can tell you X, Y, and Z, but as you grow and change, you develop your own
chosen family.
Exactly. Not just your chosen family, but your own sense of beliefs. What you believe in, what makes you you, right? Your family can tell you they want you to be this way, but as you grow and change, your sense of self becomes more attuned. So, you know, you're going to make your own choices. And sometimes making choices comes with consequences and it comes with mistakes along the way. But it's about having those clear lines of communication. And parents, you know, remember that you're young ones too. And children they're going to make mistakes along the way. And it's about what you do with them, that resilience piece. So it's like, okay, you've done X, Y, and Z. Yes, there's a consequence for your actions. I understand why you've done it, but I would rather you look at it this way, right? And if you're really struggling, then reach out to, like, you know, a child and adolescent professional, a counselor, you know, therapist, to get the actual support that you need for the parenting component, because parenting teens and children now is not like when we were growing up.
No.
These children are exposed to so much more.
Fast.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like those days where it would take a little while for us because it was a dial-up. You had
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I couldn't be doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing because mommy would hear that I'm not supposed to be doing what I was doing. But what does it look like now to negotiate those spaces where you can use this digital tool, but we're also having conversations about trust. We're also having conversations about
boundaries, and it goes back to the healthy communication and the expectations that you have for your child, as well as the expectations they have for themselves and type of person they want to be. Tell your children about digital footprints. Jobs do look you up to see what you're tweeting, what you're posting on Insta and things like that, right? And also be in the know. So you have to be very aware of the different platforms that children are using, and make your child have them as a friend, like not to invade their privacy, but you should be scoping to see who's following my kid, who they're setting next, because you see so many like teenagers that are like 14, 15 that look older, and you got a bunch of grown men following on Instagram, and they don't know the difference. That's where grooming starts and things like that. So it's about having these uncomfortable conversations in a healthy and palatable way for children to understand, not to scare them into not doing anything, because realistically, you can scare a child, but they're going to do whatever they want to do regardless, right? But it's about providing the education pieces.
Whew. And if you want to hear more about what this phenomenal woman is going to be talking about, you can see Chardonae, who is talking about
digital impact. Sorry, it's a long title. Digital age and the impacts of social media, significant implications or not. I don't just look at, the children aspect or the adolescent aspect. I also bring in adults. And I just get a full scope of things because it impacts us all, right? I go back to starting at 18 months right up until the age where, deceased, you might as well say. Like 100.
Because that's where we are now, where we're all going to be affected.
And the trends that start when you're small, they carry throughout the different stages, and people tend to forget that because they are adverse experiences that you can encounter online, that platonic.
And for those of you that remember Dr. Jenna being on the show, we know that huge impact and, of course, positive childhood experiences have a...
Exactly.
So here comes those topics we talked about before, but doing so in a way where we're modernizing it for you to understand the ways in which technology is being integrated with these very integral pieces.
Yeah.
So again, you can see Chardonae on October the 27th from 2:20 to 3:20, again, a part of the Moving Forward Together, brought to you by the Bermuda Mental Health Foundation. Again, this is a 2-day, symposium, you can say, October 26th to October the 27th. There are some topics that are online, and that there are some in person on the second day. And during that second day, you get a free lunch because everything is free. So again, if there's anything that you heard Chardonae talk about, or if there's anything that piques your interest, please go and visit BMHF.BM. Again, that is BMHF.BM, and register now. Be a part of these conversations. Be integral in trying to make sure and understand where we are in this place. Thank you so much for coming on. And I have to say, I'm like fangirling a little bit. It's so good to see like a past BHS girl out here doing the thing.
I'm trying, girl.
The edges laid.
Yes, have to. This thing's so important.
Exactly.
Edges and eyebrows every day.
Okay, mental health.
Yes.
Self-care.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Jodi,
thank you guys so much. I just wanted to quickly say for our sponsors that are involved, thank you guys so much. BFNM, Chubb, and Barrett, you guys have really come through, always supporting the foundation. And thank you so much for allowing us to come on the interview this morning. We are, again, very excited, and we're looking forward to see as many people as possible on the 26th and 27th of the month. So we're going to make it a great day, make it a good day, give each other grace, as we all are on this island trying to live in peace and harmony together, and take your mental wellness and your mental health just as serious as you take your physical health. And I will see you on the 26th.
Yes, you will. Thank you so much, Jodi. And to all of you, you are listening to The Morning Spice here on Hott 107.5. Keep it locked.
Best radio in Bermuda every single day. Your number one.